Local 3 Arvada is mourning the loss of a young police officer killed in the line of duty.
His service and sacrifice will never be forgotten.
Also today, Russell Wilson getting ready for his debut on his old home turf. We're breaking down game 1 for this rebuilt Broncos team against the Seattle Seahawks.
Broncos country. Yes, exciting day for football. We will get to that in just a second. I want to give you a live look from London and now Edinburgh, Scotland, where the Queen's casket is moving in a formal procession to a cathedral, St. Giles Cathedral. This is the Royal Mile in Edinburgh, where a crowd of people have gathered to pay their respects and see the soldiers walk with her casket to the cathedral, where it will rest for 24 hours. The King Charles III, the Queen Consort, and other royal family members will all be in attendance. They are there for this procession. The public can also pay their respects for one day into the overnight hours. The royal archers will be standing guard over her coffin, which will be adorned with the crown of Scotland before then it is moved to London for the final days before her funeral service.
Lisa, looking outside here, we had a beautiful change in the weather this weekend. It's going to heat back up a little bit now.
It was nice, a perfect weekend. You had a little rain on Saturday and then sunshine yesterday. Things are going to warm up a bit more though today. Early this morning on your biking forecast, low to mid 50s. If the kids want to bike to school still, if they haven't left yet, good morning to do it. We'll be in the upper 70s by 11, near 80 by noon, and then we'll hit highs today at about 88 degrees. So it's going to be mid to upper 80s for us here in town. Quite a bit warmer than what we saw yesterday. Very summer-like, although this morning feeling pretty fall-like. Heading out to Seattle for tonight's game by about 5 o'clock there in Seattle. Some low to mid 70s right before kickoff with some sunshine, and then upper 60s. Looks like a pretty nice night for some football, both for the Broncos and for all those fans that are out there for the game. Back here at home, it'll be a nice night for it too. We'll take a closer look at your Super 7 day coming up.
I want to start with a quads play because we have problems now all over town. The latest one being on I-76 right by Sheridan. That's what you're seeing here on the eastbound side between Sheridan and Federal. Have a new crash there. This is northbound I-25 right after the Children's Museum, which is right there. Left lane is still blocked. Northbound I-25 up by Northwest Parkway. A rollover crash here. Northbound 225 right here at Iliff. There is a crash over to the left side. So all these problem spots, and you can see the travel times right now, a half an hour across downtown. We have heavy traffic up here to the north side from that crash, and we still are busy across I-76 from that new problem out to the west side of town. Here's your northbound 225 drive times. So it is a busy drive for you in a lot of spots, unfortunately, with several problems that you still have to navigate around here this morning.
Arvada's water tower was lit in blue overnight to honor a police officer killed in the line of duty early Sunday morning.
Just 27 years old, Officer Dylan Vakoff was responding to a disturbance call when he and another officer got into a shootout with a suspect. That suspect now in custody. We are still working to learn more about him and what led up to this.
Meanwhile, Officer Vakoff is the second Arvada police officer killed in a little more than a year. Denver 7's Veronica Acosta joins us outside the police station where there is a memorial growing for the young officer.
And now that the sun is up, we're getting a better look at what everyone has left here, not only this morning, but also yesterday afternoon and yesterday night as well. We've also seen more and more people stop by this memorial to pay their respects to Officer Dylan Vakoff. You see, again, all of those flowers that have been left behind. There have been some notes. There are photos now, stuffed animals, balloons, you name it. It is all on this vehicle, on this police cruiser. We know Officer Vakoff was just 27 years old. He'd only been an officer with Arvada PD for about 3 years, and he was a local Arvada guy. He went to high school here right over at Ralston Valley, so you can imagine just how many people in the community knew him, how many ended up showing up for him yesterday, among them an old classmate who just spoke the world of Officer Vakoff.
Dylan was always somebody who, when the strangest, most devastating things happened in our lives, he always found a way to look at the bright side. And I think that's what he would want us to do here.
And his mission didn't stop at just being an officer with Arvada PD. Officer Vakoff was training to be a part of SWAT as well. Before that, he was a staff sergeant in the Air Force. He was a son, a friend, and the half-brother to a man we spoke with who told us every time he and Dylan talked, it was kind, it was uplifting. He said he appreciates him and everything he did now more than ever.
I just appreciate his service so much. I know it's hard to go out there and face a lot of the stuff that, you know, is going on these days and whatever. It could be scary. But I really appreciate everything. Even the text and everything, to at least be able to get to communicate with him was awesome.
And Arvada PD says, of course, Officer Vakoff's sacrifice, it will never be forgotten. It doesn't go unnoticed, of course, by so many people who've come by, dropped off those flowers, those mementos. And for anyone out there who wants to pay their respects to the officer, this memorial, it is right outside of Arvada's Police Department headquarters. We're live in Arvada this morning. I'm Veronica Acosta, Denver 7.
Thank you, Veronica. If you cannot make it by the police department to drop off physical flowers, there is an official website to make a donation in Officer Vakoff's memory. We have a link to it at the bottom of this story right now on Denver7.com. Well, taking a live look from Seattle, where the Broncos and Seahawks will kick off their season tonight on Monday Night Football. We will have that game over on Denver 7. Of course, Empower Field on the right, and many people here planning watch parties for the game in Seattle. Many Broncos fans made the trip to Seattle, and a lot of storylines going into this game. Obviously, headlining it, Russell Wilson facing off against his former team at Lumen Field, which will be loud, no doubt. Denver 7's Jason Grinauer is in Seattle, catching up with some of those fans and bringing their mile-high pride now to the Emerald City. First, tonight is also the first game with Russell Wilson as the Broncos quarterback. Broncos have a new head coach, new ownership. It is a new era for the team. We want to get to Broncos insider Troy Rank about the high expectations going into tonight.
WrestleMania has arrived. Finally, the long-anticipated debut of Russell Wilson for the Denver Broncos will happen tonight against the Seahawks at Lumen Field. You know what? I think Russell Wilson's going to play well. He's 10-3 on Monday night. He's undefeated in his last 3 openers with 10 touchdowns and no interceptions. As for his teammates, Broncos haven't exactly played a lot of meaningful games the last 6 years, but Russell Wilson will help calm them, be a soothing presence, and he's remained diplomatic this week amid controversy.
Don't worry about all that stuff. I mean, people have opinions and thoughts and ideas, and everybody has their own right to think what they want to think. You know, I know how the whole thing went and how it transpired and just the whole situation, but also at the same time too, I know that I every second of it I've enjoyed. In terms of being there and just trying to give my all every day. That's all I know. I believe in my talent, who I am. I believe I'm one of the best in the world. I don't worry about anything else other than that. At the end of the day, you still got to get prepared the same way you always get prepared. And I think that when you get outside of that realm and start thinking about everything else, or detailing this or detailing that, or trying to worry about this and worry about that, you're wasting time. I don't think winners don't waste time on things that have nothing to do with the game. It'll definitely be an experience I've never experienced before, but it'll also be an experience that I'm going to enjoy the journey of it all. My focus is going to be on joy. My focus is going to be on my teammates and us playing our best football that we can possibly play against a really good football team.
I talked to a source last night about Russell Wilson. He said he's in a good place. He's really ready for this game. He's not too anxious, not too eager. Why would he be? Russell Wilson, 19-4 in primetime games. Reporting from Seattle, Troy Rank, Denver 7.
Yeah, and we've seen plenty of orange and blue already pop up in Seattle, and they've been loud and proud.
Yeah, a lot of people making the way from here to Seattle. Others already there in Seattle, and Denver 7's Jason Grinauer caught up with some Broncos fans who are making sure everyone knows how big Broncos country is.
As you mentioned, they call it Broncos country for a reason, because fans not only made the trip, but there's a pretty good cohort of fans already here in Seattle. Take a look at this video from yesterday. The Denver Broncos Fans of Seattle group held this photo op. This was at the base of the iconic Seattle Space Needle, and it was visiting fans. It was Seattle fans who still support the Broncos, and Miles, the mascot, even showed up. This was kind of the first big taste of the excitement ahead of Monday Night Football, and we spoke to several of those fans. Take a listen.
A lot of us, so this is a community that there's a lot of people that just grew up as Bronco fans. There's people that are from Denver.
Let's ride! We've been out here for 4 years, but we'll always be diehard Bronco fans.
Always bleed orange and blue. Go Broncos!
Go Broncos always!
It just grew and grew and grew. We just kept outgrowing different bars and meetups, you know, and then it's turned into this. We have like almost 3,000 people in our DBFS, Denver Broncos Fans of Seattle thing going on.
Bronco baby, let's ride!
And here is the end result, that photo, Broncos country there at the base of the Space Needle. That Denver Bronco Fans of Seattle group expects many more Bronco fans to be here at the stadium a little bit later on tonight for Monday Night Football. But after that picture was taken, fans then gathered for what they called an Orange Herd Rally, and the team actually sent some surprise guests to meet up with Broncos fans. We will have that for you coming up in our next half hour.
Yeah, a reminder, Monday Night Football coverage starts at 5 p.m. over on Denver 7, kickoff at 6:15, and then stick around for the post-game show. Still ahead, though, if you're betting big on the Broncos, we're breaking down your game day odds as the big wagers continue to be put on football in Colorado.
And could the orange and blue be the secret to a good marriage? We're catching up with a Lakewood couple in their 90s about their lifelong fandom.